Every human asks at some point what happens after death, yet far fewer ask an even more mysterious question: where were you before birth? You appeared in this life through a body and a family, yet your existence did not start from nothing. Across cultures and throughout history, people have carried beliefs about where the soul rests before entering this life. These views may differ in detail, yet they all agree that life begins long before your first breath. What you are about to hear are 6 powerful cultural teachings that offer answers to the question of where you were before birth. Each culture developed its own way of explaining the origin of the soul, and these teachings carry both spiritual weight and symbolic meaning. They show that birth is not a beginning, but an arrival, and that what comes before is part of a larger cycle that includes death, rebirth, and the mystery of existence itself. By looking at these different traditions, you can see how human beings across time have understood that the soul has a history before the body. 1. Hindu beliefs on the soul's journey. In Hindu philosophy, your soul, known as Atman, is eternal. It does not begin with birth nor end with death. Before you arrived here, your soul already existed, shaped by past experiences and actions across many lives. The system of karma explains that what you did in previous lifetimes determines the circumstances you enter in the next. This means that the body you inhabit, the family you were born into, and the challenges you face are not random. They are connected to choices and actions carried over from before. Hindu texts describe the soul as carrying a subtle record, one that does not vanish at death but guides the next stage of its existence. Between lives, the soul is said to rest in a state beyond the physical world, where it prepares for its return. This in-between stage allows the soul to release what has been completed and hold on to what still requires learning. The decision of where and how to be born is linked to the lessons needed for growth. For Hindus, birth is not the beginning of a story, but the continuation of a much older one. When you arrived in this body, you were stepping into conditions chosen for your soul's evolution, conditions tied directly to what came before. 2. Buddhist views of the intermediate state. In Buddhist thought, there is an important stage called the bardo, which describes the period between death and the next rebirth. Before you entered this life, your soul is said to have passed through this state, carrying the effects of past actions into the present. The bardo is portrayed as a place of transition where your consciousness is confronted with visions and reflections of what you have done. The clarity or confusion you experience in this state influences the direction your next life will take. It is less about punishment or reward and more about the natural outcome of the awareness you bring with you. This teaching emphasizes responsibility. How you lived before determines what you meet in the bardo, and that in turn influences the life you now inhabit. Your birth was therefore not an accident, but the direct continuation of choices made in earlier lives. For Buddhists, the fact that you are alive now means that your soul has successfully crossed the bardo once again. Life itself is proof that consciousness moves continuously, always shaping and being shaped, never disappearing entirely. 3. Ancient Greek ideas of the soul's existence. Greek philosophers, especially Plato, taught that the soul existed long before birth. According to his writings, your soul once lived in a state of pure knowledge, where it had access to eternal truths that exist beyond the material world. Birth, in this view, is like a forgetting. When your soul entered the body, it lost access to the clear memory of these truths. This is why learning in life feels like rediscovering. According to Plato, when you grasp new ideas or feel a deep recognition of wisdom, it is because your soul is remembering what it once knew before entering this life. This perspective gives special meaning to experiences of intuition or sudden understanding. When you feel that something is true even without being taught, it reflects the memory of the knowledge your soul carried before birth. Such insights are not new discoveries, but echoes of a deeper awareness. For the Greeks, your soul's existence before birth was not only about survival, but about knowledge. It means that you came into this life carrying wisdom, and much of your growth here is about bringing fragments of that wisdom back to the surface. 4. Jewish teachings on the treasury of souls. In Jewish mysticism, there is a teaching about the guf, also known as the treasury of souls. It is described as the place where every soul exists before it is sent into a body. Before you were born, your soul was said to rest in this sacred treasury, waiting for the moment of release into life. The Guff is seen as a storehouse created by the divine, where souls are prepared for their missions. When the time is right, a soul is chosen to enter a body and live out the path that has been set for it. This belief shows that your life was anticipated and your soul was not created at birth but drawn from a reservoir of existence. According to this teaching, each soul carries a purpose, and birth is the start of fulfilling that purpose. The idea that all souls exist in the Guff also means that human life is finite in number. When the treasury is empty, the era of human birth will end. For those who follow this view, your soul came from a place of divine intention. You were not random, and your arrival into this body was part of a plan that existed long before your family knew you were coming. 5. Indigenous North American perspectives. Among many indigenous traditions of North America, life is seen as a circle without a clear beginning or end. Before you were born, your soul was believed to live in the spirit world, closely connected to ancestors, the land, and the forces of nature. In these cultures, it is common for families or communities to experience dreams or visions announcing the arrival of a child's soul. Elders may speak of seeing or sensing a spirit before conception, interpreting it as a sign that a new life is preparing to join the community. This shows that birth is not random but anticipated by both the family and the spiritual world. The soul is also seen as choosing the family it will join. This choice reflects connections with ancestors and agreements made before entering the body. In this way, your birth was part of a larger network of relationships that existed before you arrived physically. For indigenous traditions, the place you were before birth is not distant. It is a living presence, connected to the community of spirits, nature, and those who came before. Your arrival into the body was the continuation of bonds that never ended. 6. African beliefs on pre-birth existence. In several African traditions, including those of the Yoruba, it is taught that before birth, each soul exists in a spiritual realm where it selects its destiny. You are believed to choose the path, challenges, and gifts that will define your life before entering the body. This choice means that your trials are not random. They are part of a pattern your soul agreed to experience, knowing that they would lead to growth and development. Similarly, the strengths and talents you carry were chosen as tools to help you on that path. In Yoruba thought, this pre-birth decision is called Ayanmo, the destiny each soul accepts before entering the world. Your life is therefore both guided and purposeful, since it reflects choices you made before you even took your first breath. This teaching brings responsibility but also power. It shows that even before birth, you were shaping your story. You did not arrive unprepared. Your soul already had direction, and your current life is the unfolding of that choice. If you have made it this far, let us know what you think in the comment section below. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.